Hi everyone. I'm just working on a couple of short videos on basics in Excel. And for this one, I'm going to look at dealing with formulas. So I'm just going to share my screen to an empty Excel full file. And so here we go. Move that out of the way. So I want to look at how to enter formulas into cells, and then we'll look at naming cells using dollar signs and doing some copying and pasting. So I'm going to focus on a really simple formula. I'm going to use the formula for a line. So for that, I need a slope. So that's going to be my m, and the intercept, that's going to be b. And then I'm going to have a series of x and y values that I'm going to, given the x, calculate the y from. So I'm just going to pick a slope. Let's say we have a slope of 2.36 and an intercept of negative 5.74. And I'm going to start my x at 0, and then I'm going to say 0.1, and let's see if I take those two, if I highlight them both. So now you can see next to the arrow. So I should show that again. Let me undo that. So what I've done is I've typed in 0 and 0.1. I've highlighted both of them, and then I'm just going to the bottom right corner, and I get this big plus sign. And when I drag it, it's going to show me right next to the plus sign what the fill is going to be. And in this case, it is going up incrementally, so I can just drag it down as far as I want, and that gives me a nice set of x values. For the y values, well, the equation of a line is y is equals to something. So all of our formulas always start with an equal sign, so equals, and it's going to be m, and then a star for times, and then times x, and then plus our b. Okay, so negative 5.74 is where we are when x is 0. Now, to copy that down to the other x values, I can get that big plus sign in the bottom right corner again, and I can drag it down. Okay, we definitely have some issues. So let's go back and look at that again. All right, so there's my formula. If I just copy it down, if I click on the function box, it shows you all the cells that you're referencing. So you can see the blue cell, that's the B1, and then the orangey colored cell is the A5, and then the purple is the B2. If I copy that down one cell, well, that didn't work. Let's undo that. So let's just copy it down one cell. There we go. Okay, so now if I click on there, you can see that the X has moved down, which is what we want, but the M and the B have also moved down, which we don't want. We would like them to stay in place. So to get around that, and that's the problem we were having when we copied it down, because then it was copying from cells that didn't contain numbers. So we got lots of error messages. So that's not going to work. So if I undo that again, now what I need to do is I need to actually put in any numbers that I don't want to change. I'm going to put in the dollar signs. Now, you can type in dollar signs. So I want the A5 to say is A5, so I can type in a dollar sign before the A and a dollar sign before the 5. You can do the letter and the number, or the letter or the number, any combination that you want, depending on how you're copying it. So you may have times when you don't want either the column or the row reference to change. You may have times when you want the column to stay the same, but the row to change, or vice versa. You want the row to change, but the column to stay the same. So depending on how you're copying it, you may use different combinations of dollar signs. For the B2, which I also want dollar signs on, I'm not going to type in dollar signs. In this case, I'm going to press my F4, my function key. So F4 on a PC will put in your dollar signs. As I keep hitting F4, I cycle through all the possibilities. So no dollar signs, 2, just the number, just the letter, and back to none. So I want both of them to have dollar signs. That does not work on a Mac. If anybody figures out how to do that on a Mac, let me know. But on a PC, you can just use F4. And since the dollar sign is on the 4 key, that's usually pretty easy to remember that it's F4. So now when I copy this down, it's still not working. Why is it not working? No, that looks fine. Nope. I know why. I put the dollar signs on the wrong one. There we go. See, even I make mistakes. It's the A5 that should not have dollar signs. The B1 should. There we go. Now if I drag it down, oh, now it's making sense. Okay, now I want to copy this all the way to the bottom of the column. You can drag it, so get that plus sign and drag it all the way down. You can do a copy and paste, so you can do Control C, Control V. You can do the copy and paste buttons, or you can just get that big dollar sign and double click it, and it copies all the way to the bottom of the column. Done. Okay, so we've entered a formula, we've put dollar signs in, we've copied down the column. The other thing that I want to show you is another way to do the um, dollar sign, the referencing, is to actually name cells. So if I go into this cell, you can see up here in the naming box, its name is B1. I can change that to M. And then here, this is B2. I can change that to just B. So now if I type in the formula equals M times X plus B, ooh, it's not happy with me. Why is it not? That's M. Oh, you know what? Because the M didn't go in. Okay, so now it works. Sorry, the M name didn't go through. So now you can see, now it's giving me the same answer as this one. And I don't need any dollar signs. I can just double click that all the way down the column and it'll copy the whole formula down. Okay, so when you're typing in formulas, you always start with an equal sign to indicate that we're doing math. Type in your formula, use the dollar signs to lock in references to constants, so things that are not going to change when you copy the formula to other places. Anything that you do want to change, you just leave as the regular cell address, which you can do just by clicking on it. The other thing that I will mention at this point is there are a whole whack of functions within Excel that you can use, and they're under formulas. You can see here all different kinds of functions, whether date and time or text functions, logical functions, math and trig functions. So if you're looking for a function, you can go up here. So you can see we have a absolute value function. We have all kinds of trigonometry functions. We've got here we have the decimal function, so converts a text representation of a number in a given base into a decimal number. We have, it'll tell you if it's even or odd, or sorry, rounds a positive number up, negative number down to give you an even number. We have an exponential function, all different kinds of functions that you can use. The other way to find a function is just put in your equal sign, because again, you're doing math, and then start typing the name of the function. So if I want to do an average, I put in an A, I get all the A's. I put in a V, now I can see I've got average, deviation, average, etc. There are other averages there, so I want this one. If I hit the tab button, that fills in the rest of the function and gives me the opening bracket. And then I can say which numbers do I want average. So let's say one number of these two numbers, which doesn't make any sense because they're the same. But anyway, and then to finish the function, you can close the bracket and hit enter, or you can just hit tab again, and that'll do that for you. So when you're looking for a new function in Excel, one that you haven't done before, as long as you know what you're looking for, so you're like, hey, I need to be able to do a logarithm, so I'm going to type equals, I'm going to type log. Oh, look, there's log base 10, various other log functions, so you can go through and it'll give you a quick description of each one. Okay, but generally that's what I usually do, is I just start typing in what I think the name's going to look like. Usually you can find it pretty quickly. If not, you might need to go up into all these different drop downs and look for it. There are also logical functions. So you can do if statements, you can do sorting, you can do all kinds of things within Excel, but we're just starting with the basics here. So that's it for that one. Thank you.